name is Jeff Pagano, and welcome to Harping on Rugby, where with the help of some fellow fans, I get the chance to harp on what's going on with Leinster, Ireland, and the wider rugby world. First up, joining me this week is someone earning his 66th Harping cap. Welcome back to Mr. Tom Coleman.
Evening, Jeff. Evening, Connor. Good to be back with Connor. It's been a while, actually, since I was on with Connor.
As
Yeah, been quite a while.
And also here, as he says, is someone not too far behind Tom on the appearance chart, this being number 63. Hello again to Mr. Connor Cronin.
Yeah, good to be back. It's been that long since I've been on that Tom has overtaken me in appearances, because there was a while where we were both very close. But
That's
fair play
it.
to Tom, up at 66 already.
You're the Jack Crowley.
There you go. And so this now brings us to our final thoughts, starting with Tom.
Yeah, I might go slightly different this week and let you two talk about Ireland. I'm just going to talk about Scotland for a minute. The first thing I'll say is we're 2 from 2. We're bonus points in each game. Absolutely where we want to be going into the last 3 games. And it's looking like it's all going to come down to that French game in Dublin. But I think from a Scottish point of view, it's 11 losses in the spin now for Scotland against Ireland. I think there's a couple of coaches. I think Steve Borthwick and Warren Gatland came into the weekend under pressure slightly in their jobs. Maybe Borthwick got a bit of a reprieve, but I think Galthy and Townsend have now joined the group, where it's really only the Irish coach and even though he's interim, and the Italian coach that look like they're a little bit more comfortable in the job. I think Townsend, he's been there 11 years. He's never won against Ireland. He's never finished third and third. Every year we hear about this golden generation of Scottish players, and lots of them individually very good. So, it looks like a change at the top, possibly. I don't know. I don't know if it was Ireland or England or France. I don't think he'd probably get away with that level. So it'd be interesting to see what happens to Scotland.
Do you think it could be like in 2 weeks they beat England again and it's all right and he's bought himself another year?
Possibly, yeah. It seems to be. Look, Borthwick probably bought himself more time with the French win. So rugby's a fickle sport as well, just like football. For anyone that watches football, and managers are going in and out of flavour. Yeah, but yeah, Scotland. I was on a podcast during the week. Believe it or not, I was.
No, you weren't.
Cheating away from home. But I was asked about how Scotland could win this game on that podcast, and I'm just finishing up by repeating what I said. I just didn't think they could, because constantly they lose the contact battle with Ireland up front, physicality, and you're just, no matter what backline you have. Scotland have struggled to score tries. I think in the last 6 games they've only scored 1 try each. Apart from the World Cup game, after they were 36-0 down, they got 2 late tries, and obviously in this one they got another late try. Connor eloquently described how messy it was in the last 5 minutes. So they really struggle, and it's no coincidence they really struggle to score tries, because they're losing that contact battle with Ireland up front and the gain line. And it's there where it started and ended for me. Ireland were completely dominant in that area of the pitch. Doesn't matter if it was the forwards or centres, and couple that with a kicking game, just street smarts. Scotland were never really in it, as harsh as that might sound for a Scottish fan, but yeah, never really in it. And better team won, and it was a fairly comprehensive support, performance by Ireland. And as Conor rightly pointed out, if you're looking for chinks in that, it's an 80-minute game. You're always going to find errors. And look, I've seen clips of Sam Prendergast's poor tackle at the end on Ben White when Scotland scored, and it was a poor tackle. But like, if that's what you want to focus on in the game, out of Prendergast's performance, you're just have an agenda to suit yourself. So you never take for granted bonus point and win in Scotland over there, even though we've a good record against them. But yeah, massive road win, and I think Townsend's under pressure for his job now.
Yeah, definitely. Because I mean, like we definitely have their number. There's no question of that. And I suppose if I've seen memes all over social media, like Ireland are living rent free in Scotland's head, whatever. And I suppose if you want to personify that living rent free, you've got him on your wallpaper behind you there, Peter O'Mahony. We didn't really talk about him that much, I think, in the in our when we were talking about the match, but he wouldn't want us to with the work he was doing. He was working away, doing his thing. Throughout the match, he was getting turnovers. He was, and just his presence I always like the way his presence in a 23 helps our team, but I think like against teams like Scotland as well, where he's got a bit of history there, just seeing his name in the team sheet affects them as well.
He did mention in the post-match interview that how delighted he was to get booed when he was coming off the pitch, so he took that as the best compliment he could get, of course, with his little Cork con grin when he was saying it. So yeah, he loves playing Scotland.
That's what they always say about back rows. If they're booing you, you know you're doing your job. You know. What are your final thoughts, Connor?
I'd agree with you there on Peter O'Mahony. I think we didn't mention him because, he didn't need mentioning. He was just quietly going about his business, doing everything he needed to in a very classy way. He doesn't need to talk about it. He just gets on with it. And it's not all flashy work. Some of it's quite dirty work he ends up having to do. But he does it with a smile on his face and gets on with it. And, we love having him. He's a great player to be serving us. And all the people giving out like, oh, well, but how old is he? Yeah, you're right. He is old. But with age comes experience and wisdom and knowing when to get into those situations and when to put your head into a ruck or not put your head into a ruck. So it's great having him. I think as a whole, like I said already, I think anyone looking for, and Tom pointed out again, anyone looking for reasons to give out about this match. Oh, well, Scotland were just really poor. It's like, were they poor or were they just not allowed to play well? Were they prevented from doing anything they wanted to do for 80 minutes of rugby? Oh yeah, but their first choice fly half went off. It's like, well, them's the breaks. These things happen, and not everyone can be in the comfort and luxury that we are, where we've got two absolute quality 10s going at it, hammer and tongs in training, I'd say, every week, and I'd say really, really pushing each other to get the most out of each other. They don't have that luxury. So, you can say things like, oh, well, you can only beat what's in front of you and whatever else. But the thing is, we played them at our game. We never let them drag us into their game. We never let them put on the shape into that match that they wanted. They probably wanted to do very specific and particular things at certain points in the game and never got the opportunities. And the few opportunities they did get are, an absolute world-class finish. I'd say 90% of wingers making that dive get shoved just enough that they lose the ball or whatever else. So Van der Merwe's finish is quality. And a last minute try, well, I say last minute, but last couple of minutes where things have gone a bit messy and a couple of penalties. Scotland were living off scraps because that's all we let them have. We were by far the better team. We were not beatable. And I know I'm using that word a few times, but I've seen it pop up a couple of times online. We weren't beatable. That's why we won. I think to see fellas like Ronan O'Gara coming out and talking about the fact that we played well and the fact that the management are picking a very, very good team. I don't like some of what he said because I would never have referred to Finlay Bealham or Bundyaki or Peter O'Mahony or Crowley or Murray as scraps. But I think that to say that is disrespectful, I think, of what the provinces are trying to do. But for him to come out and say how well we played, considering a large part of the makeup of the team are people where he might be looking going, oh, they're the pricks that beat me. But Jesus, they do it well, don't they? Don't they do it well? Don't they play good together? Let's take that win with a big smile on our faces. It's the coach's job to look for work-ons. It's our job to be very grateful that we're looking at a team with 2 wins with bonus points after the first 2 weekends.